Chapter 14 covers long-term projections, and specifically it has a handy model that I think you'll find useful. We're going to cover some of the applications that come from these types of models. Then we'll go through a methodology where we put together through 5 steps a model that describes the full financial statements and has some graphics. The comic says, we can't afford long-term planning. We may not even be here tomorrow. Let's hope that's not true. Applications of long-term planning obviously include strategic planning because that by definition is a long-term plan, but it also includes things that feed into that. Things such as new product development within the context of an existing business unit, or it could be creating a new line of business, an entry into a new market or a new industry. Also, strategic planning often includes some type of mergers or acquisition or divestiture. Those would have to be factored into long-term planning. And finally, there are many other capital investments that require the scrutiny and the care of these types of procedures. Things like major plant expansions or major movements into new markets. The first step is to understand what we have, our current businesses, and forecast those through the planning horizon. But we may be aware that there are some strategic shifts that may be occurring. We want to factor those into long-term planning as well. It could be us exiting a business or entering new businesses. Maybe they're not even in our current financial results. From this comes the creation of the financial model that pulls these together, and the outputs will be a revenue estimate, expenses which lead to an income statement, capital expenditures, and a full set of financial statements. Step 1 is to project the revenues and gross profit that we get from our various lines of business. What you see on the right is a spreadsheet that shows the revenues and gross margins for our products. These will be linked to the other spreadsheets that we'll see in this particular chapter. It shows the different products. We'll see product numbers 1200, 1250, 1300, etc. on top here. Then we also see in the next section a summary, which will carry forward into the next stage as we roll up into income statements. And then the bottom is a measure of our strategic position as measured by market share, assuming we have that data available. Step 2 is operating expenses. These would be in line with the revenues that we project to make. So it could be in the sales or marketing areas, or it could be R&D as part of our longer term strategy, continue to develop new products or product extensions. Step 3 is a listing of the capital requirements. These could be factories, new sales or distribution facilities, etc. So these go over the planning horizon so that we could factor those into our overall model. Step 4 is a financial summary, pulling together the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow from the previous statements. Step 5 is to present the long-term projections to senior management. These might involve graphics such as the ones you see on the right side, and often we'll have graphics in a summary form, and then behind it would be details of the most critical aspects of the financial model. Overall, this is a pretty handy spreadsheet with 5 tabs that pull together from details of revenues all the way up to some summary financial statements and graphics. I think you'll enjoy using this.